Hello everyone, my name is Tracy. I am going to be demonstrating how to make a Poo bag from Off With Their Threads design. I'm doing the zero design that she will be posting up later this week, if not early this week. I'm going to demonstrate the steps and what materials I'll be using. I'll be using marine vinyl in orange. I have 3 parts. I have my top part, which I used a scallop rotary blade to cut that. This is the bottom part, and then this is the backing. I will not be lining this one. I don't like to line these type of bags, but that's fine. If you would like to line it, it's part of the design as well. I'm using a 6-inch universal zipper, I believe it's called, because it's usually used in purses, bags, and stuff like that. So this is 6 inches, and then I will be adding a grommet to the hole where the little trash bags are going to be coming out of. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is press the start button so it can start stitching the outline of the main bag and where the placement of the zipper will be going. So stay tuned. Alright, so this portion here, this middle line is where I'm going to line up the teeth of my zipper with. Some people like to put tape, but I don't, so I'm just going to place it. But make sure this zipper part is to the left if you like to open from left to right. If you like to open the opposite direction, you can. If your zipper has a stopper, make sure it's on the outside of the stitch lines. Okay? And I'm going to press the next step, and that's going to tack down the zipper. So I'm just going to hold it in place. You can tape this down, or you can hold it like I'm doing, but it's personal choice. Just be careful with your hands. Okay, so it tacked down the zipper. All right, so the next step is going to do is the placement of the top. So we're going to do that. And then it's going to do the same thing for the bottom of the zipper. All right, so the next part is going to be the top of your bag. So I'm going to place it, and I like to line my vinyl exactly up against the teeth of the zipper. And then now it's going to do the same thing for the bottom. This is my bottom piece with the scallop. I'm going to make sure it is against, like right on the zipper teeth. All right, so now we're going to do the placement stitch for the applique portion of the image. All right, as you can see, we have this, and I want to see if my vinyl is, yes it is. So I just cut a weird piece off of something else, so I'm just gonna use that piece. But do make sure you cover the complete image. All right, at this step, we need to cut around it. There are times where I'll just do it right on the machine, but as I get towards the top, I may have to take off the hoop and cut around it. But I'm just going to try it just like this for now. And it's still not working because I don't have enough space. So I'm going to do it right here. And make sure you cut around the image without cutting into the threads. Now, if you do cut into the threads, make sure it's not something so serious, because the satin can definitely cover up that mistake, but not in all cases. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut around the head on top. And I like to use these small Fiskar curved scissors. They are very helpful when cutting out applique. Some people use the duck bill, but in some cases they don't go clearly around the small corners and curves. So I like using this small curved scissors. Just lost the grommet, but I'll pick it up. As you guys can see, I cut around the image as best as I can. Give you guys a close-up. Now I'm going to put it back onto my machine. Remember, when you put it on your machine, please make sure that you guys are hearing that click. Otherwise, it'll be stitched wrong. All right, so the next thing is going to do this middle part of the image to separate the left from the right side. And then I'll let it run for the satin stitch. We're doing the collar now, which is in red. And now we're going to do the satin around, so I'll let this run. right, so we are done with the satin stitch around the body. So now we're going to do the tongue. I just stopped this so I can clip off this thread. So now the next thing we're going to do is the eyes and the mouth. I'm going to stop there right quick because that's the wrong color. Good thing I was watching. So let's try that one more time. There we go. Clip this off, but because I'm not doing the lining, all right, so this is where it's gonna make the circle, which is where the poo bags are gonna come out of. I'm not going to do the satin stitch around it. I'm actually going to make a hole to add the grommet, and I will be showing you this in part of the design. All right, so I'm gonna take my hoop off the machine. All right, so while it's in the hoop, I'm going to use my puncher. I got this from Amazon, and I'm going to use my little mallet, and then at the hole, I'm going to punch a hole. and it should punch between the 2 layers of vinyl, between the applique and your stabilizer. Okay, I'm just going to, just a certain part of it is not coming out, and there we go. So all right, so it looks like this. So it's missing that part. So I'm going to use my tools for adding the grommet. All right, so the first thing is I'm going to add this portion in first. So therefore it looks like this. Okay, so that's going to be the nose. Oops. And then I'm going to make sure it's secure. And I'm using this little gadget to hold it on the opposite side. And then this is the tool that you put down on the backing. So therefore it presses it in place. Okay, so there we go. So now we have our grommet, not garment, in place. Okay, so you don't have to do the satin stitch, but if you wish to do the satin stitch, you can. So now I'm going to add it back to my machine. And before I do that, I want to make sure I put in my zipper, because the second to last step is going to close up the bag. So do make sure you move in your zipper. Okay. I'm also skipping the satin stitch part. All right, so now it's going to do a placement stitch, so where I can add my tag to hold my bag with a lobster clasp or just any key ring. So we're going to do that next. So that's going to be this placement stitch. And I just use a 2-inch wide piece by 3/4. Doesn't have to be exact. So at that placement stitch, you're going to place it there and then hold it down. You can put tape, but I don't put tape. Alrighty. So now the last step, or second to last step, but if you're not doing the lining, this is going to be your last step. But if you are doing the lining, this is the second to last step. So I'm going to cover it with the backing and make sure, like I said, your zipper is zipped out the way so it's not outside the placement stitches. So make sure it covers the complete square-like design. And then it's going to stitch around it. Just holding it in place. You can tape it down, but I don't tape it down. just gonna run it one more time since this is the last step, but it's part of the design, so I'm gonna let it run again. This would have been the opening for turning your bag using the lining. And just like that, our design is done. And on the next video, I'm going to show you how I cut around it, turn the bag, and then add my lobster clasp on the side and show you guys the final picture. Thanks for watching. All right, so I'm back and I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to cut this Poo Bag out. As you guys can see, my grommet is there. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut around here so my zipper can be exposed. It's best if you use tearaway stabilizer, but I didn't have any on hand at the moment, so I use cutaway, and that still works. All right, so now your zipper is exposed. So we're going to cut around the design. Try not to nick the stitches, especially in this case, because you do not want your bag to unravel. All right, so I'm going to make sure my zipper is opened all the way. This is why you need it to be exposed, as you guys can see. And then from there, you are going to turn your Poo Bag inside out. I like to get the corners first, poke them out. Makes it a little bit easier. And if you have like a chopstick or something to help poke those corners out, that is very helpful. Just using the scissors for now without damaging the vinyl. I'm going to do the same thing for the top portion. Get those corners out and flip over. All right, so we have our Poo Bag. If you would like to add a ring so you can have the person clip their Poo Bag onto their pants, their bags, or even the leash, if possible, I'm going to add this key ring. And just like that, we have a cute Poo Bag. So all you would have to do is add the roll of Poo Bags here, and then just clip that little string that's bothering the thread, and then one piece at a time you take it out. So that's your Poo Bag. Thanks for watching.